recently coming up, in a point in my life where I'm letting a lot of people go.
Right.
Because I just feel like that's what's right for me, and they're distractions.
Payments no playing, we heard you was slacking, and I get that front end, back end, back end. I got your bitch trying to tap in.
Yo, I said yo.
Tap.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tap Podcast.
Tap.
I'm your host RNE Nique, and I'm here with my boy
TaNtrum, Necolis in the motherfucking building. Y'all know what's going on. Co-founder, Tap DNT, TaNtrum, Necolis, fair winner on all platforms.
All platforms, everywhere. And today, we're kind of just going to be talking about a little bit of everything, but not necessarily everything, because there's a lot of topics within this topic. I want to talk to you about time management.
Time management.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on mine recently. Apparently, it's bad.
So you feel like your time management is bad based on what other people have been telling you, or based off what you feel?
Based on what others have been telling me.
Okay, what about how you feel about it? Do you feel like your time management is bad based on you, based on what you see?
I feel like I make the perfect amount of time for the things that I want to be doing right now in life. And I don't mean to say that in a selfish, tint, but I lived my life, the way I lived my life, my entire life was convenient for others.
You saying live like you not done living. What you mean?
No,
Where you lived your life?
It's just, I feel like I'm just now really getting to live my life. Like,
okay.
I'm 20 years old.
Right.
And I didn't really start doing anything, major until the age of 18.
Okay.
And it was just always convenient. I just had a stigma to me as far as, being a child. My mom was very worry-free when it came to me because she knew I wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
Not to say I like making my mom worry now, but I just get to live my life and do me.
So how does that play into your time management?
Because there's other things that I'm not making my time for, family, relations, where my time used to only go to that. Okay. But now, you get to where I'm saying I get to live my life now, and all of a sudden my time management isn't the best.
So tell me this, do you feel like it's because you've reached a new level when you're inside like a different environment, and now your time management toward the things that you used to put it toward isn't the same, it's not the same level or same caliber? Do you think it's because you've branched out?
Yes, totally.
I don't think that's always a bad thing, though. I
appreciate that.
I think we put our time toward, things inside a certain season that are applicable to us inside that season. Like, for instance, LeBron is going to be, putting more time into watching other players, while it's still game time, while it's still a season, because he's like, those are his competitors, versus, the summertime where he might be chilling, just working on himself, just working out. Like, you need to put time into like things that are important for that season. So like, not saying your family is important always and forever, but it's like right now y'all got that foundation. They're gonna be right there for you whenever you need them, when you need to fall back on them. But at the same time, you need to build and lay a foundation inside other places. So I don't think that's a bad thing. You got to understand, time management is management. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you're spending too much time inside one place, if it's for your benefit and if it's going to push you further and if it's positive. But you got to just learn how to like balance it out.
Yes.
Time balancing.
Time balancing. I like that. That's TAP. Instead of time management, we're going to say we're trying to time balance. Because
I can say the same thing about myself. I've been working on my time management skills all the way
I wanted
too.
to know about you, man. How's your time management?
It's not the best. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but I'm striving every day to make it better and better. I just figure out patterns that work for me. Because I'm a firm believer in time not really being a real thing. Right. It's a tangible thing because we base everything off of it. But at the same time, I don't think that time, the concept of it, is actually something that's really real inside the universe. I just think that the sun and the moon definitely have a rotation for different things inside, space. And that's what we live by. But the concept of time based on 12 twice is just so crazy to me. But I feel like with my time now, I'm getting better at managing it by just like using devices like, my cell phone or, different, say if I'm watching TV, just like, timing myself with different things inside that manner. I'm not the type of person where I'm like, oh, I need to take more time or less time doing a certain thing. I like to do it right to the point where I'm satisfied with it. But like now I feel like I'm bullshitting, honestly, if I'm spending too much time doing something when I know I could have got it complete way quicker if I would have, actually just,
I have that same issue.
Put myself into it.
And it's not even an issue. It's kind of like maybe I want to say a mentality.
Yeah, it's a mentality.
Knowing you can do better.
Yeah. How do you feel about distractions? Because there's a lot of them out there. And what are some of your biggest distractions when it comes to your
I feel like distractions come in all shapes and sizes, man. I feel like distractions can come like in the form of anything that you think is beneficial. A distraction can be...
So you think a distraction can be something that's beneficial or that you think is beneficial?
Yes. Because it can disguise itself, but it can really be a distraction. Like I am recently coming up, in a point in my life where I'm letting a lot of people go because I just feel like that's what's right for me, and they're distractions.
So though they're beneficial to your life, they're just distracting you from your common goal for what you're trying to do.
Yes, because in the end, there is a common goal, and a distraction can be a person. It could be an activity. A distraction doesn't necessarily have to be strictly, oh, my attention over here. No, distraction could be, you are a great artist, but you get in the studio, smoke too much weed, and now you can't record.
Right.
That's a distraction.
Now, I've seen it happen time and time again. I know it all too well.
Yes.
Honestly, like we all need to do a better job of just focusing in on the things that are important to us. You got to wake up every day knowing that it could be your last day on earth, and you want to really do the things that are important to you at all times. That's what I truly do believe.
No matter what.
But at the same time, it's easy to get distracted. So how do you stay focused when you're trying to avoid your distractions? What keeps you focused?
Elimination and reevaluation.
Elimination and reevaluation.
When I am distracted or I start to feel off, my go-to is always isolation. It may not be, the best way for others who want to. A lot of people like helping people through their problems, or they feel like you can't go through that alone, or it's never that for me. I can get through anything on my own, especially if I really take the time to analyze what I'm going through. So when I do have distractions, yes, I will eliminate it, and I'll reevaluate if I want to turn that distraction into a drive. Because I've done that. I've kept a distraction around me as a go-to to like when I need a push. Right. And that distraction could have been a certain person. So I'm like, okay, I know I don't want to. It's kind of like some narcissist type of deal, but not necessarily. It's just like, when you know yourself to a limit, you push yourself, say, I want to make this many songs today, and I actually get that many songs done. But in reality, I need to be doing more songs than that. I know exactly how to push myself to get myself in that mood, like forcing yourself to be happy. Yeah.
I feel like to reach your highest self, you definitely need to do your best on eliminating distractions. But a lot of times, like, distractions aren't necessarily even put there on, or it's not like we choose every single distraction that comes about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it's all circumstantial, and sometimes these circumstances aren't based off of decisions that we've made. But at the same time, it takes a powerful person, a powerful human being, a powerful soul to be able to break through, and actually have that breakthrough and push past what might be the distractions that they didn't choose for themselves. Yes. Environmental factors, nature versus nurture. The things that you like are surrounded by your entire life play a huge part into the way that you conceptualize things. If you are the type of person where you've been raised inside this setting versus somebody who's been raised inside a way more horrific setting, y'all might be inside the same situation, but see it as two different things.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And that can play a big part into how you move and what you consider to be distracting to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely see exactly what you mean, because
somebody like me, who say right now, if my air conditioner stopped working and I couldn't change the temperature in here, that wouldn't be very distracting to me. I would still get up tomorrow and do everything I have to do, versus somebody who's never experienced not having central air. They would not know how to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all based on your reference point, what you've been through, but environmental factors for sure. Like distractions, because what I consider to be a distraction, you might not. Period, point blank.
Because distractions are different for everyone else. Mm-hmm. You are completely right in that state, and I kind of agree with you. Kind of don't agree with you.
Okay.
You know, as far as you saying, like the setting. So
the setting.
The
environmental factors.
Yes, here's where I sideways agree, because I feel like no matter what, someone should be able to tolerate. Now, when I say this, you gave me, the air example.
Right.
So I'll say that by saying if me and you were best friends, but we grew up in a setting where, we were richer or we just didn't have it hard. So loyalty to us may not mean to what it means to some other people. But we get into something and I tell on you. There's no snitch code among us. There was no loyalty code. I feel like even, if we were best friends and we come from less, and what comes with that. We do have moral codes, or in our community, we do have, you can't snitch, and certain codes we follow. Regardless of the setting you come from, that loyalty should still be there. Whether you are a rich white kid who got it all, you still shouldn't tell on your friend.
I feel like when it comes to loyalty, that's a whole different thing. But when it just comes to just like your reference point and the way that you feel about certain things, then it's like, yes, okay, well, when it comes to loyalty, that's a human aspect. Like your socioeconomic background should not necessarily have any influence over how loyal you are. No, not loyalty, because as beings, that's what animals are loyal. You know what I mean? Ants are loyal. To bees are loyal. You know what I mean? Like that's what we do. So like your socioeconomic background shouldn't really have much to do with that. But everything else, as far as like just your reference point of what it means to view something as a distraction, I feel like it's definitely based on your environment and what you've seen and dealt with growing up. Like period, point blank.
Well, yeah, because you could have grew up with it distracting you.
Yeah, and then like not even growing up with it distracting you, just knowing how to cope with it, because like it's something that might distract you, but it doesn't distract me because whoever I was just at my household with taught me how to deal with that from an early age. Mm-hmm. They taught me to move past it. Like for instance, if I have a headache, I've been having chronic migraines since I was probably in like first or second grade. If somebody is like getting migraines now at this point in their life, it's probably very distracting them. They probably feel like they can't do a lot.
But you've been dealing with migraines all your life.
So I know how to move past it based on different remedies my mom taught me, like balling up my fist and running cold water. A lot of different things. Drinking water. Stepping outside and getting some air. Eating certain fruits. It's just a lot of different things that I know. So like, what distracts you is based on what you have knowledge of. Knowledge is key, because if you have more knowledge, you'll be distracted, less. No matter what it is, or what the situation is. Understood. Like, it's some things that you can't control that are out of your control, but if you have more knowledge, you can deal with it better.
All right, then let's take a leap. Would the environment play a part in also motivational suspenses?
I believe so. What do you mean when you say suspenses?
Some people have. Okay, I could put this into a perspective.
Right.
Separate motivational. I'll say I don't know if you know what goal presence mean, but it's like basically just a way of doing things, or a way of looking at things, kind of like perspective.
Okay.
So, in a way of life. So, this could be turning like what could be a distraction to someone is a motivation to someone else. A distraction could be, we currently are editing a video and I hate weed smoke. You hate weed smoke. Somebody else here, they grew up around weed smoke, and they use it to the point where, okay, how can I actually give you? Oh no, I actually got a great idea. Yes. So me and you hate weed smoke. Mm-hmm. Get the weed smoke out of here. I can't edit like this. Mm-hmm. The producer loves weed smoke. Mm-hmm. He loves it. And it's helping him work.
It's helping him work.
So now that we are distracted and he's motivated, would you say, like, could you work like that actually? If it's for the vision?
It honestly depends on what it is. I know a lot of people who, if it's, you know, certain things going around inside that area or inside that setting that they don't do or they aren't fond of, they can't work inside of it. But I'm pretty lax inside my own zone to the point where if I'm comfortable, I can work. Okay. So I just need certain elements to make me comfortable most times. I try not to rely on substances to make me comfortable. Yeah. I just try not to. But at the end of the day, if I'm inside of a certain zone where I feel like I want to smoke and, you know, people around me are going to be uncomfortable if I smoke, I just won't smoke.
Which brings me back to your environment. Would you be able to stay out of your environment for the comfort of someone else's, if that is their environment?
I feel like I'm very adaptable. So for me personally, I'd be willing to make people comfortable just so I don't have to experience them being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? If I'm uncomfortable, I'm just not gonna do it. Period, point blank. I'm just not gonna do it. But at the same time, when it comes to me as a person, I just, you know what I mean? I'm lax, man. I'm a very adaptable person. I can pretty much, you know, I'm like Beast Boy. You know, I could turn into whatever animal I need to be right then and there. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna attack as that animal. So like, I'm to the point where I can do a lot. And then like me being able to be adaptable, it's not because I'm like a people pleaser. I want people to be like A-okay or nothing like that. I just been through a lot and I've seen a lot, and I know certain people don't really know how to change and adapt that quick. So the fact that I can do it, I see it as a blessing.
So do you try to draw towards people who are more common towards your environment? You know, maybe grew up like you or come from the same things you came from too? I know I do. It makes life a whole hell of a lot easier. I
used to, but not anymore. Now I just like to explore people because you'll never like understand the similarities you have with somebody until you like actually dig deep. And we might not come from anywhere that's the same. I got a friend that I, met years ago, and I still talk to, and he's from Romania. Oh. He lives in Romania. It'd be every time I call him, it's tomorrow there where he's at right now. He living in tomorrow, literally, because he's like 13 hours ahead of us. So like every time I talk to him, he always talking about something new or with their laws, and he telling me about something that's coming to his country that we've been had, like the iPhone 13 and just like a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't really try to like, ever since I've like started forming relationships like that and still keeping them strong, even after not seeing this guy for a long time, like I'm to the point where it's like I want to like really interact with anybody that I can get great vibes from. You don't gotta be from where I'm from. Like I'm not really worried about you necessarily making my life easier.
Doesn't matter to you?
Nah, not necessarily. I mean, I don't want you to be from nothing messed up, but even if you from something messed up, that don't mean you can't learn to like be tapped or learn to like show love or like be a great person. Cause like where you start is not where you finish. And you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your demons. You are not your insecurities. You are a sustainable creature that has a story to tell and a story to still be lived. So like I'm not really worried about necessarily where you come from. I want to know enough about it to the point where I don't necessarily prejudge you or I don't make you feel offended or anything like that. But other than that, what you've been through is what you've been through. Where we going next? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm about as a person. Like, so I don't really worry about too much about that. I can greet somebody that look like me, and I can greet somebody who don't speak my language. Yeah. You know what I mean? We got all types of apps I can translate and let him know that I'm showing love. So like that's cool enough for me.
That's amazing too.
Yeah.
That's great how open you are.
I feel like I gotta be open. It's at that sense when it comes to people.
I love that. I definitely love that.
Definitely. I feel like we just touched a lot right now. I want to dig a little bit deeper, but I also want to switch it up too.
I do too. I think there's something else we need to touch on. Do you want to let them know now, or should we come back with it?
We're going to come back with it, but tappers, in the meantime, get your time management together, dig deep, do what's important to you, and live for today at all times, man.
Yes.
TaNtrum, Necolis, and RNE Nique. We'll be right back.
She said she in love with the kid, but I'm a heartbreaker just like on Shawn Michaels. I hate having hoes, call me Triple H, so I rest on my feelings. I don't even fight them. I put them in dresses, but never do wife them. Might get a liver right after she fired. She might call me daddy, but I'm not her father. We run shit like niggas who hold more cameras. I'm off the shits in this bitch like a stitch when I'm smoking on it at the Grinch. Hey, thought it was inside to protest me and him took a hit, now I'm already lit. Baby put down like her credit was bad, and she still determined to finance some shit. She a finance little bitch, and I give her some credit, but won't even score cause karma intense. And we hit the closet so quick, thought she had a fit, but we got undressed. And she from the south, I'm from the Midwest. Up like a quiz and fast like a test. Link up when we tapped and like in the test. That baby left with more than one on her neck. I'm a dog ass up, at least to make a fetch. Even though that whole interest me likes doing that. And she be heated, but I'm just Necolis. I'm Necolis like I need Necolis. Stay with the.
And we tapped and we back, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that music video clip. Like I said before, fair warning is everywhere, man. Back with my boy RNE Nique, man. How you feeling?
Sir, I'm feeling good.
Feeling good, man. We just touched on a number of different topics, man, concerning around time management and things of that nature. Now I want to just talk about, like, you know, just the individual basis, what it means to be tapped, what we consider to be tapped. And then also I want to go into people who, you know, showcase a different side of themselves than what is really true to them. I mean, by that, you know, just being blunt, I want to say fake people. People who act like they, you know, got the sauce, but they ain't even necessarily ever tasted it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they never tasted it at all. They just want other people to feel like they know what it tastes like. People that actually, you know, put on a show. You know, like really good actors inside society.
Really good actors.
Yeah. Who, you know, who fake the funk.
I know a few of those.
I feel like when you're true to yourself, it's the most positive thing that you can do as a creature on earth. You know what I mean? When you're true to yourself and you're actually, you know, about positivity and abundance, it's the best thing that you can do for everybody else.
Yes.
But you got to be true to yourself first. That starts first. How do you feel about people that aren't true to themselves? And how do you feel about you as an individual? Are you true to yourself?
One, I feel like being true to yourself is extremely important. If you are living a lie, that is the biggest lie you can tell. Mm-hmm. You know, I would be better off saying I was the president than, you know, not living my truth and just not being me. Mm-hmm. And not showcasing what I really am, what I really have. Because a lot of us do facade because we feel like we have to. You know, there's certain things you have to come with. There's certain things you need to be able to do, and I feel like I am true to myself in some ways.
Do you think that feeling, I don't mean to cut you off either, if you wasn't done, but do you think that feeling of feeling like you have to be a certain way is based on how people truly feel about themselves, or is based on how other people see them?
I feel like it can be a subconscious thing, because you can say, you know, I feel like I need this because, you know, maybe society made you feel like that, or maybe your surroundings made you feel like that. Yeah. Or like I said, subconsciously, that's how you really feel. You know, that's what you're telling yourself. I need that to be happy.
So you think it relates to happiness?
Yes, always. It always comes down to happiness, and you can't find happiness unless you find it eternally. Knowledge of life is knowledge of self.
So you have to be internally happy before you can spread happiness or show happiness on the outside. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I would say, yes.
Okay, so like, so you know, I would believe that you are somebody who considers yourself to be true to yourself. What does it take to actually display you being comfortable being true to yourself?
Being comfortable with being true to yourself. You are
displaying it at all times. Like,
you're a vegan and all of your friends eat meat. You go out to dinner with them still, and your diet does not change. I still get, we go to Taco Bell. Everybody else gets their tacos. By being true to myself, that doesn't mean anything to me.
So relentlessness and, sticking to what you actually stand for.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel like nowadays, like a lot of people focus way more on what people would say about them or think about them before, they actually think about the gratification they would get off actually just doing something.
Yes. And most of that come with the materialistic blindness. That's where a lot of the, being true to yourself is for most people. It's for what they can and can't make up for. I don't have this. Mm-hmm. I don't wear this. I can't afford that. And being true to yourself is, you got $700 and your rent is $500. But, everybody wearing those big ass red boots.
And
I want those red boots. But damn, I'm going to be behind on my rent. Mm-hmm. But, everybody has those red boots. If I don't got those red boots, I don't got shit. If you don't got a place to live, you don't got shit. Mm. So being true to myself would be paying my rent. Fuck them boots.
So being true to yourself involves going against societal standards and popularity themes.
Yes. Knowing, living within your standards, knowing yourself, knowing what you can and can't do, mm-hmm. and being militant. Mm-hmm. Yes. I feel like
you just said something tap, knowing what you can and can't do. But I feel like even beyond that, because I don't really like to use the word can't, but it's more so knowing what your circumstances are right now, mm-hmm. and what they could be. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? And also being smart enough to apply what you've already been through to what you need to know. Period.
Understood.
And I feel like that ties in with what we were saying earlier with time management, because it's super duper important. It's super duper important for you to actually be on some type of schedule, be on some type of routine that's actually going
Organization overall.
Being
organized overall is important. Yeah.
Beyond it being important, it's the way that the world works. If we are going to sit here and have a conversation about where we are in society today, and based on how it used to be, it's still a lot of organization. Like from thousands of years ago to now, it's always been some type of, certain things are way more organized now than they were, but it's always been some type of structure. So I feel like internal structure is key, because it's how so many things have been going on for so long.
Yes. Do you feel like you're true to yourself?
I do feel like I'm true to myself. I feel like I'm in a position now where I'm actually starting to realize what being true to myself actually means, mm-hmm. and what it actually feels like, and it feels amazing. It feels like truthfully amazing. I still get scared, and I'm, not scared to admit that, but I know that fear is just a construct of my mind, and then my insecurities and things that I've been through. But I'm not a person that shies away from fear. You know what I mean?
You embrace it?
I embrace it, yeah, and I tackle it head on, and I try to discover what I need to do to make it go away, and like move past it and be better than it and be stronger than it.
I work through it.
Yeah, it's it's a lot of things that I at a certain point I felt like I didn't have the capacity to do, and then I do later on, and it's like, why was I ever reluctant at all? So.
Yes. So how do you feel about people who are not true to themselves? They know what it takes, and they could, even do it, but they just simply can't grasp to.
I just pray for them. I hope they come around to it before it's too late, because, every day is a blessing, and, we're not promised anything except death. So I pray they just get it, before it's too late. Yes. That's all.
I feel like no matter what, when you live your truth, that's the freest form of just life that you can reach. I feel like when you do finally come comfortable with who you are, and what your situation may be, mm-hmm. and you just accept it for what it is, and you're like, okay, this is me, this is what I got, god damn it, I'm gonna live it. That's the highest peak for me, man. That's it. That's the gold up there.
I feel like we should all be trying to find some type of peace inside that internally, being true to self, just being the best version of yourself that you can be. And I feel like that's very, very tapped. So if we want to leave y'all with some jewels today, we want to say work on your time management, do the things that you love, and definitely embrace who you want to be at all times.
Yes. Don't change for nobody.
Don't change for nobody, but don't be afraid to make changes for the better at the same time, at all times. It's your boy TaNtrum, Necolis. I'm here with my boy
RNE, Nique.
Man, you know we tapped in until we motherfucking tapped out. It's been an amazing day, man. Shout out Tap Podcast, Tapped Entertainment. We taking over.
Payments no plan, we heard you was slacking, and I get that front end, back end, back end. I got your bitch trying to tap in, I'm with that bitch.